Okay, so I'm going to go over chapter 14. I've decided to break this into 3 parts and make it easier on you all. So here we go. Health, illness, and the body. The different ways that cultures deal with the body and illness and how they keep each other healthy. Okay, so in chapter 14, we will be looking at the anthropological study of health and illness. This may be at first something that seems strange for anthropology. In the West, we are conditioned to think of health as strictly biological topic, and it is very cultural. The World Health Organization identifies health as not simply the lack of disease or infirmity, but the attainment of physical, mental, and social well-being. So, would you be healthy if you never interacted with other people? What if you were put in solitary confinement? Could you still truly be healthy? Social well-being is a very real part of healthy living for human beings because we're gregarious or social beings. Yet this isn't a biological topic. Instead, it's a cultural one. There are quite a few anthropologists who do research on health and well-being. So, medical anthropology. The field of medical anthropology is the study of health and illness among human cultures. It has been a growing field since the 1980s. Medical anthropologists make use of the anthropologist toolkit of fieldwork and participant observation to explore the relationships between health and culture. In particular, medical anthropologists often focus on medical ecology, that is, the interaction of diseases with their natural environment and human culture, as well as the ways in which human cultures understand and react to the diseases and illness. They also focus on how systems of health and illness interact with the cultural sources of power. So basically, it's how people are dealing with these different diseases and illnesses and what they're using as far as their environment is concerned, and also how the environment impacts the way that they process this disease. So, big questions. How does culture shape our ideas of health and illness? How do different cultural concepts of body affect health practices? What do we see as far as is the body taboo? Are parts of it taboo? Are parts of it not? That kind of thing. So, how can anthropologists help solve healthcare problems? Why does the distribution of health and illness mirror that of wealth and power? And how is globalization, always important, changing the experience of health and illness and the practice of medicine? How does culture shape our ideas of health and illness? So, medical anthropologists have found that culture has a powerful impact on our ideas of health and illness. But first, we need some definitions. Health, as we've seen, is viewed as an overall concept of a sound mind and body. That is, not simply the lack of disease, but physical, mental, and social well-being. For medical anthropologists, diseases refer to discrete natural entity that can be clinically identified and treated. This is about the lack of health caused by bacteria, viruses, parasites, genetic abnormalities, and so on. Something that a medical doctor can identify and at least try to treat. Illnesses, for anthropologists, mean something different than diseases. We use illness to refer to the individual patient's experience of sickness. In other words, his or her enculturated view of the disease. This includes, for example, the way patients feel about being sick. Will they talk about it with others, or are they ashamed that they're sick? Will they seek out assistance of a friend, a local expert, or a professional? Will they complain about pain they're in, or will they keep it to themselves? Those are cultural, right? Now, if we step back and think about these topics, like in The Anthropologist, we can see that health is at least in part a cultural concept. What is considered to be mental and social well-being will change from culture to culture. Illness is entirely a cultural-based perception of the experience of having a disease or thinking one has a disease. As anthropologists, we should expect these to change from culture to culture. Ethnomedicine. Many medical anthropologists have become involved in research and documenting systems of ethnomedicine. A system of ethnomedicine refers to the cultural specific ways in which diseases and illnesses are treated within a culture. Where American cultures turn to systems of doctors and hospitals for aid, other cultures may turn to a traditional healer who may prescribe local herbs or teas as a remedy. Both are cultural specific systems of ethnomedicine. A related subdiscipline to ethnomedicine is ethnopharmacology. This is a specific study of cultures' use of natural substances such as minerals, plants, and animal products as remedies, such as the Chinese traditional medicine. They definitely use different minerals, plants, and animal parts as part of their remedies. So let's look at a few of the examples documented systems of ethnomedicine. Healing practices of the Tibetan Buddhist. So, Lakita region of northern India is home to approximately 250,000 Tibetan Buddhists living in a very dispersed rural villages. The only healthcare system available in this region is a network of traditional healers known as amicrists. Amicrists seek to heal their patients by helping them maintain a bodily, spiritual balance between themselves and the surrounding universes. And their examination process, however, is quite physical. The amicrists will take the patient's pulse, examine their body weight, and ask them questions about their ailments. They prescribe a range of recommended changes in diet and behavior to use of natural medicines prepared by themselves. The production of medicine is a significant part of the role of the amici. These healers collect plants and minerals from the mountains, which are all combined together through traditional recipes to create pills. These pills are intended to be boiled in water and drunk by the patient. As the majority of the patients treated by amicis report to being cured of their ailment, only when the major surgeries are needed do locals seek out the assistance of Western-style medicine in big cities in India. In an interesting twist, traditional medical practices, such as those used by the Amchi, are both threatened by and supported by modern globalization. As we've seen many times this semester, small rural cultures are rapidly encroached upon by the global system, and as a result are at risk of being lost. The culture of rural Ladakhi region is no exception. By the traditional ethnomedicine of the Amji, in high demand among Westerners, alternative or traditional medicines are being widely embraced by many in the Western world. Through this support of Amji, we are organized and attempted to save our otherwise threatened ways of the world. Biomedicine. The term biomedicine refers to the practice of applying principles of biology and natural sciences, i.e., physics, chemistry, to the practice of diagnosing diseases and promoting health. Biomedicine is an ethnomedicine of the Western cultures, thus the system of medicine that most of us are familiar with. Western biomedicine prides itself on the scientific approach based on philosophies that originate in the European era of enlightenment. Practitioners of biomedicine focus on empirical research studies to treat diseases and illnesses. Despite its scientific basis, however, medical anthropologists point out that Western biomedicine is still a cultural system. That is, Western cultural values science over other subjects, and thus turns to science, even when maybe they shouldn't. Okay, as Western culture has forcibly spread through the world, so is the Western perspective of biomedicines. However, it's not only a successful and widespread system of ethnomedicine practiced in the world. Okay, and this ends part 1. See you in part 2.